I'm not so perfect, baby, yeah, you are. Come right, come right.
What's going on, everyone? Last video you saw me play in a tournament and I lost to a Birdie and a Zangief. Today we're going to be going over the Zangief matchup, and I'm going to be having my friend Juices help me out. He basically showed me a few ways that I can get past the things that were giving me issues. So I broke this into basically 3 parts that you can easily swallow. It'll be Zangief stand heavy punch, whip punishing it, catching it on startup, and then we're going to talk about the armor move that gave me so much issues in the tournament and how to deal with it, and what I was missing before, like knowledge that I was missing before. And then the third move I want to talk about is his like knee. You'll see it later on, but it's like that move where he jumps a little bit off the ground and hits you with his knee, and there's some properties about it that I didn't know. There's a lot of other things that you probably know or need to know about Zangief, but those are the 3 problems that I had that were not very apparent to me or very obvious to me. I'm platinum right now, so I made it all the way up to this point without knowing these issues. So I figured that there's probably other people that are lower rank who don't see these things either, and I'd like to share. So let's get right into it. First, we're going to talk about Zangief's stand heavy punch. Now, you can see it here on the screen. If you let it whiff, it lingers and it's very active. So you can actually walk up here and I can stand heavy punch. I can, at a certain range, I can actually stand medium punch. I can sweep. I can V-skill, right? A lot of options against this button if you let it whiff. The biggest one, or the easiest one, is when you see it start up, you can just sweep it, right? So if you don't want to figure out, the most optimal thing right now, or you're just having problems against Zangief and you want a quick fix before you can go lab for your specific character, all those options that I said are for Karen, right? But it should give you some idea on what you can punish him with on your character. So you can see me sweep it here. In a second, there it is. There's a sweep. And then he's gonna keep doing it, and you see the you'll see the little cogs in my brain turning. So I've swept him at this point, but I can tell that this button is very active, and that whiffing, you can get way more. Like, okay, so you see right there, I did stand heavy punch. Now stand heavy punch does connect. I just didn't know right there. So there it connects, and then I empty dash, and then here I get the full thing. So some things to take away from Zangief's stand heavy punch: it's very active. You can whiff punish it with a ton of buttons and get a full combo or just a sweep knockdown, and then you get your Oki, right? So it's really about if you catch it on startup or if he whiffs it. So the main issue I had in the tournament against Zangief was the one that I played relied on this flex heavily because he knew I did not know how to deal with it. So that's what we went over here. Now, the important thing to note is that the second part of his flex, where his arm comes out, is actually -2 if you block it. Let's see, it takes me a few times to get it. Right there. So you saw it right there, it was -2. So if you can jab him, and then he lets go, or the second part of the flex goes through, and then you block the second part, it's your turn now. I didn't know that. I just kept eating it, I just kept eating the second part of the flex, or just letting him do it. There, I see, I ate it again. That's what I was doing in the game, in the tournament. And there I'm jabbing it, and then I'm gonna block. Now, I don't play Gief, and I should have labbed this, but I don't know if the jab is to bait him into letting go of the V-skill and letting the second part go, or if the jab makes the second part start. But see right there, it whiffs. And right there again, see, it's -2, which is, pretty important detail I should have known in hindsight, but I just never labbed these things, right? Here, I learned another concept last night, which was backdashing out of pressure. So that's what I was trying to employ there, was jabbing, backdash out of pressure, and then go back in. But then he reflexes right before I get back in, so then it doesn't work sometimes. But backdashing out of pressure works, like it's a concept that I did not know until yesterday. And it seems pretty self-explanatory, but I never thought of doing it, because backdashes aren't invulnerable in this game, so they're not, you don't block while you're backdashing like in Tekken. So backdashing has always been like taboo to me, right? Like I don't want to backdash in a pressure string because I don't want to get hit. But if you know the gaps, then obviously, or if somebody's walking at you, like let's say Karen's walking at you and pressing stand light kick or like stand medium kick, like they're just pressing the same normal over and over basically. You can backdash in between those. So for example, Juices was playing Alex yesterday versus 2D's Jury, and 2D dashed up and did Jury stand medium punch. And then instead of eating the second medium punch, Juices just backdashed. So he's effectively out of that situation. Something just to think about. So what to take away from this section is basically that if you block the second part of Zangief's B skill, the armor, it is your turn. He's -2. And here's just a few more examples of me, you know, trying to deal with the armor. I jab, block, my turn. There I hit it twice just to, you know, see what would happen. Because he's walking forward. When he walks forward in this too, it goes from 2 points of armor to 4 if he moves forward. So that's why in the tournament you'll see I was actually trying to break it, but I didn't realize that he gets 4 points when he moves. So I was breaking it when he was standing still, but I wasn't breaking it when he was actually moving. Alright, so lastly I want to talk about this move here. So Zangief's knee, see the one where he's like all the way in the air hitting you in the face. This move is actually negative, which I didn't know. So you'll see them do this, like in, I think they do this a lot in block strings, it feels like, into like some type of grab, maybe SPD or the other one where they start running. I'm not really sure. But this is like a really important move that I did not know was negative. So let's take a look. Obviously it hit me there. Let me see if I can get it on the frame. So right here, I'm +3. And he's -2, I think it said, right? I couldn't really tell. Let's see. +3. He's -3, sorry. So it's my turn, right? It's my turn, but in real games I don't even challenge it because I just assume that it was not negative. But that's your turn right there. So make sure you press your fastest button or whatever button to see right here. That's not my fastest button. Crouch medium punch is not my fastest button, but I was just pressing it there because I didn't know the exact frame data until right now. Ideally, I could get like a crouch medium punch into a confirm, into a Tenko, I think, because Karen's crouch jab starts up in 3 frames. So some final notes about the matchup and then the game in general that I learned last night was using you know, your meter less liberally. So I like to use my meter a lot and not save it to kill. But if I, you know, were to save my meter for longer and save it till the end of the round when I could kill, I would probably win a lot more rounds. So conserving meter a little more, and then backdashing out of pressure. So there's a lot of gaps in between people's you know, strings, or when they're pressing a couple normals at you, they're just pressing, you know, the same normal over and over. There's usually a gap, and you can backdash out of that pressure. So you know, that's something that I learned. And then these are Zangief specific. We talked about these. Jab and then block the flex into a punish because it's your turn, right? Maybe not a punish, but it's at least your turn. So press because he's -2 if you block the flex. And then just all the options for whiff punishing, stand heavy punch, and stand heavy kick because you can actually duck underneath it and it'll whiff. I think that's it for now. This Tuesday I'm going to be doing the birdie matchup with Danny Boy. He's going to be showing me all the stuff that I missed with birdie, and we're going to be learning. So hopefully I can make another video out of that. Thank you guys for watching, and as you can see above, 86% of my viewers are not subscribed, so if you could please consider subscribing, it would help me out a lot. Thank you, and I hope you learned something today.